In this devlog, I'm going to finally publish my game on itch.io. Hello and welcome to another Couch Combat devlog. This is a big one. Today, I'll be polishing up and publishing a demo of my game on itch.io. This is far from a final demo, but I think that setting a date to get one out will give me a good goal, and also feedback and stuff. There are quite a few things that I have to get done though before I'm willing to publish this. I'm giving myself about 2 weeks to finish this game. Today is September 16 on a Wednesday, and my goal date is October 1st, which is a Thursday. I need to get the game loop working again, make a 3rd, 4th, 5th stage, finish the main menu, polish up the UI, just polish up stuff in general, and so much more. So before we begin, if you want to try the game, then be sure to hit the link in the description and download it for free on itch.io. Also be sure to subscribe for future devlogs and more. So yeah, let's go. I started off making some fixes that I've wanted to make for a while. I made the second stage a bit bigger to make it a bit more fun to play, or I designed a new stage as well. The wall. The goal for this one was to have a stage split in half by a wall, with new bounce pads allowing you to go over them. This is not exactly how the stage plays out though, but I'm happy with it anyway. The stage feels more like a few islands, rather than something split in half by a wall, but that works pretty well for a stage anyway. Right now, I think the game sounds kind of empty. They're just gun sounds, so I'm gonna add some movement sounds. I grabbed a few sounds off a website called Free Sound, and some from Random Folly Sound that came with the Gun SFX pack I bought a while ago. I had foot sound steps that I eventually removed because I just really didn't like them, but jumping, landing, and sliding all have sounds that I am pretty happy with. I also finally got around to fixing the slow motion at the end of the stage, and it now actually works without breaking the game. The UI was a big focus last devlog, and so I decided to finish it up. I added a win counter and a kill counter. The win counter was pretty simple. The kill counter required me to make a system for counting kills, which I mean it's kind of in the name, but whatever. But other than that, I just made all the icons and put it together. The other thing I did for UI was actually make icons out of all the guns, and I'm realizing now, while scripting this, that I didn't actually implement these new icons. So I guess I'll just add that to the pile of bug fixes to patch after this devlog. The itch.io page is also something that I want to do right. I made itch.io pages in the past for my jam games, but they've all kinda sucked. So I want to get this one right. I watched a video over the subject and took notes. Yeah, I seriously took notes for some reason. I have never looked at these notes again. There was literally no reason for me to take them, but whatever. I began preparing the new player model to replace the one I've been using since Devlog 2. I removed the extra details from it. I think I'll eventually add some hats into the game, but I don't think that they need any poorly modeled clothes for now. Next up was yet another stage. The idea for the 4th stage was this big X in the middle of the stage you can get on to get a height advantage. I built the stage in Pro Builder and I'm pretty happy with this one, and it's quite a bit better than the last stage in my opinion. The audio desyncs whenever the game is in slow motion, and so I tried to slow it down to fit, but it sounded awful, so I dropped that idea. The main menu was my next target. It currently just lets you control a camera around it, so I made a new script to control the menu itself. I made all the code for the player drop in and out. It's really just a mess of if statements, but it gets the job done. When you finish going through the menu and transition to the actual game, the menu controller script spawns the scorekeeper object, which does not get deleted in between scenes, and control stuff like how many players there are, which stages are played, and other important values. Moving on from there, I decided to throw my new rig that I just made of the player in the garbage and use a good old Mixamo auto rigger. Much better. I imported this into Unity to make a ragdoll out of it, but they were intersecting polygons in the legs. I tried to fix this for a while, and then I just cut the legs off and made new ones that actually worked. And I added a ragdoll spawner to the menu. It's slightly randomized, which makes it so that they fall differently every time you start. For the fifth and final stage, I had a very basic plan. 2 big islands with 2 bridges. I basically just put pieces in randomly and it ended up with what I think is a pretty nice stage. Even if I probably should get some upgrades in the future after I play it more. Screen shake is something I implemented for punching and then never used again. And so I came back and added screen shake to shooting. It's fairly simple. I can adjust the length and intensity of screen shakes to suit each gun. I also added screen shake to reloads, so whenever it cocks back or flips the mag out, there is just a bit more oomph. It's Saturday, September 26th, and I've got quite a bit to do this weekend, so let's get started. I made different colors for the different players. This is applied to the player model and the player's arms. The arms took a very long time to get working, but it looks nice. I also did some bug fixing, and now screen shake doesn't just affect the first player's screen. I also made the health bar flash red whenever the player gets hurt. Right now the transitions between stages are sudden and ugly, even with the added slow motion. I want to clearly show which player won and also add a bit more character to the game, so I decided to make some windscreens. I overhauled the camera system last devlog, so making this windscreen was pretty simple overall. I just designed the UI stuff, made a fade-in animation for it, and instantiated it by the scorekeeper object when a slow motion starts. It turned out to be a really nice effect, and I can also easily add more messages to it. So if you have any idea for messages, then be sure to comment them down below. The last few things I did over the weekend were menu related. I added a bit more polish to the menu. Now the camera pans down and the logo zooms in at the beginning. I also added actual buttons to the menu. The last few days were mostly just polish in preparation to publish the game. I made the ragdolls change color based on which player they are from. I also further polished the menu and the stages. Weapon spawning is a feature that hasn't really been working in forever, so I sort of tried to fix it. It's not great, and on the third stage, almost 50% of the guns fall into the void, but it works for now, and I just increased how fast the pickups spawn in the third stage to try to compensate. Finally, I made a few builds of the game. I kept trying these builds and I kept testing these builds and quickly finding problems with them and going back to fix them. But by Wednesday night, I was finished. Thursday was just making the itch.io page. I took lots of screenshots and short videos for GIFs, made a blurred out background, and wrote a description. It took a while, but I think it looks nice. The logo definitely needs to be redone. And that's it. The game is now out on itch.io. I've been working on this game for nearly 6 months now, and I'm really proud of how far it's come. The beta is far from perfect, but it's fairly fun to play, and that's a good sign. I'm going to take a short break from devlogs for a bit and try some smaller projects, but I will also make a bug fix patch fairly soon with fixes for some issues that I mentioned earlier. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and sell your kidneys and give me the money. Bye.